Hey guys, my name is Vanya, the channel's RC Alley, and in this video I'll be reviewing my team associated T3.1e. So I know I haven't made a video in a little while, I do apologize about that. I was kind of concentrating on getting this thing dialed in, working on my e-buggy a little bit. It needed some work as well, it wasn't feeling that good. So I took some time off from YouTube and concentrated just on my racing and on my cars for a little bit there. But I'm back now, and I'm excited to tell you what I think about this car. So let's just jump right into it. Just to show you real quick, what I have equipped this truggy with is a Reedy 2000 kV motor with the 850R ESC, Savox 1268 servo, and a Reedy 6400 high voltage 4S LiPo pack. So pretty much everything's Reedy besides the servo. I had this servo sitting around, it was almost new, and I just couldn't justify buying a Reedy servo to match everything when I already had a pretty good servo sitting around. The first thing I'd like to talk about is performance of this truggy, and that includes braking and acceleration, cornering, and jumping and landing. So start off with jumping and landing. It jumps fantastic, it lands fantastic, very plush. You can get on the power as soon as you land. The car doesn't get unsettled or anything. So you touch the ground, pull the trigger, and you're gone. I did change up the shocks a little bit from the box stock setup. The rear springs are hot bodies dark orange. The fronts are Mugen 7.5 75 millimeter, and then the shock coils are 42 and a half in the front and 47 and a half in the rear, and the front pistons are stock. In the rear I am running the 1.4 by 6 tapered. So yeah, overall the shock package feels really good. I could go a little lighter in the fluid area, but there was just some pretty big jumps at on the current layout at my local track, so it's nice if I overshoot it that the car will still land plush and I won't lose too much time. So yeah, overall jumping and landing is excellent. The next thing in performance would be cornering, and this thing corners excellent now. Now when I first built the car and went on for my first run, I did have a lot of issues with oversteer, and that was due to my sway bar in the rear being a little too tight, and then the setup was still off a little bit, but not too far. And basically, as I would go into the corner just fine, the car would rotate great, and about mid to exit of the corner, as I was slowly easing on the power, the rear end would just spin around on me all the time. So I did work on that a little bit. It's fixed now and it feels a lot better. I mean, you can just come in and out of corners so quick with this thing, and honestly, it's more nimble than my e-buggy, and that's why I took some time to work on my e-buggy. I guess I didn't know how a car was supposed to feel until I drove this thing, and it was night and day. My e-buggy was pushing quite a bit, and it's still quick. I was still doing okay with it, but once I realized, like, oh my God, this car feels amazing. Like, I gotta get my e-buggy to feel the same. So yeah, the cornering is unbelievable with this thing now. You're just in and out of corners, out of 180s. It rotates very well. So cornering 5 stars. It's very, very good. And then acceleration and braking. Honestly, I have not driven a car that did not accelerate well. I guess when I ran 21.5 two-wheel drive 10 scale, that didn't accelerate, but that's because there was no power in the motor whatsoever. So acceleration really good. I mean, as I kind of come out of the corner, I mean, I just get on the throttle and I'm gone with this thing. So that's good. And then braking, I did have a lot of issues setting up my brakes. I guess with the huge tires and just being a heavy car overall, I just heard some grinding noises as I would turn up the brakes on my radio. So it did take some time to get it just right, to not lock up before I entered the corner. And I would say it's good. It's better than or it was better than my e-buggy. I have made some changes to where it feels good now, but yeah, it's really good. I mean, this is a very solid performing truggy out of the box. The setup changes I did are minimal. It took almost no time to get it to feel right. And yeah, now it's super fast. I've been doing pretty well with it. We had one big trophy race at my local track not long ago, the Techno Midwest Nitro Challenge. I ended up second. I was leading the whole race, pretty much every lap besides the first lap and last. I think I started third. After the second lap, I was already in first. And then on the second to last lap, I lost the front drive shaft, so I nursed it home just with rear-wheel drive, and I can't believe I finished second. It was a really close battle between 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, performance, I couldn't be more happy with it. Next, I want to discuss how the build went, the build quality of it, and then maintenance. So in the manual, if you watch my couple previous videos, there were a couple mistakes, but if you go online and look at the updated manual on Associated's website, there are no mistakes, and I would just recommend follow that, and you'll be good to go. There was no missing parts. I thought there was, but that was due to the mistake in the manual. Everything fit together perfect. For example, my Techno e-buggy, I have to ream the A-arms out a lot to make them fit around the inner hinge pins, which didn't really have to do that on this car. I did it anyway just to get any excess plastic out of there, but it was not necessary. They were all moving pretty freely. And then maintenance of it, oh man, like it is so easy to get to the diffs. It's 2 set screws on the sway bar, so you pop off the sway bar, 2 screws on the diff cover on basically back here, and then 2 at the bottom, and that's it. So 4 screws and 2 set screws and your diff is out. That is awesome. I thought the Techno had a good design, but this is even better. Center diff, basically you undo the top plate and then 2 screws at the bottom and you pull it out. Again, really good design. Everything is so accessible. I've been working on the car, a good amount, and nothing takes long. Whatever, I even broke a couple gearboxes. I'll get to that in the durability portion of the review. But it would take me maybe 10 minutes, 15 max to change out the whole gearbox. So maintenance, awesome. The design is incredible. Now the center drive shafts are angled, so they are losing a little bit of power there, but trust me, you won't notice that on the track. The car feels amazing. So maintenance, 2 thumbs up all the way. I mean, it is so easy to work on. And then the truggy chassis, obviously, it's huge. So plenty of room for the electronics, nothing squeezed. The receiver box is huge. I fit in a receiver and a transponder in there with plenty of room left over. So overall build quality and maintenance is A+. It's really, really good. It's really easy to maintain. It takes really no time to do anything on this truggy. So moving on to the durability of this truggy, and this is where I would say it loses the most points. The bearings, for lack of a better word, are crap. They are so bad. I have had, let's see, there are two bearings in the hubs, obviously, you know, the big one and the smaller one. The bigger ones, I've replaced all four. Three of them went out. The fourth one, I wasn't going to risk it because when they did go out, they completely seized up. And once they seized up, I mean, it just wasn't rotating freely. That would make the bearing on the diff seize up as well, and then that would transfer to the little bearings in the gearbox and would make them seize up as well. So it was just a chain reaction, and then I decided, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother with the stock bearings, and I just replaced all the bearings in the car, and hopefully I won't have any more issues with that. Other than that, durability is good. I mean, so like I said, bearings are terrible. Everything else is excellent. I haven't broken any A-arms, upper or low in the front. I haven't broken any rear A-arms, no bent shock towers. The wing I was skeptical about because it's really thin and I thought it was just gonna warp out of place, but actually it's been doing really well. So I have bent one center rear drive shaft, and that was right when I got the car. I kind of like nose dove into a face of, into like a lander, but like hit it short, and you know, there pretty much any car would bend something because the chassis flex, and then there was nowhere for that drive shaft to go except bend, and it did. I replaced that. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, before I forget to mention, so if you are building one of these and on the center drive shaft that attaches to the pinion in the gearbox, there is a set screw, and I had that set screw come off front and rear a few times, and I thought I was putting enough Loctite. I thought I was cranking it down hard enough, but apparently I wasn't. At Techno Midwest Nitro Challenge, I was talking to Cole Tollard's dad, and he said just make sure you put a good amount of Loctite on that set screw, and then when you put the set screw in, make sure it's super tight. Basically, you got to be torquing the wrench to where it's almost breaking the wrench. So I've done that, and I haven't had it pop off again. So that was more of my issue, like me not building it properly, I guess. I should have known that that needs to, you know, set screw on a drive shaft like that really needs to be cranked down hard, and I didn't do that. So I have now, and I haven't had an issue since. So yeah, I'd say the durability is good. Unfortunately, the bearings are not. So the steering bearings are okay. I've checked them several times now just to make sure. But those, you know, they don't get used a whole lot. I mean, they get used, but not abused like the diff bearings or the hub bearings. If you are building one of these, you know, I'd say go out and just buy, you know, you need four bearings, four big bearings in the hubs, four little bearings in the hubs, and then four bearings or six bearings for the three diffs. And I think pretty much anything aftermarket you get, even like Fast Eddie's bearings or something cheap you get off of eBay, will last a lot longer than the Team Associated bearings. So I guess a little negative there, but considering nothing else really broke on the truck, you know, like these giant A-arms are sticking out so far. I've clipped stuff and they haven't even cracked or anything, so that's a plus for sure. Alright, the last thing I want to talk about is the value of this kit, and I think it retails for about $560. I know at the time of this filming, the truck's on sale on AMain for about $520 or $525. That's US dollars. And for that much money, you know, a lot of e-buggies are in that price range. So I think the value is pretty good. You know, you get like carbon fiber front top plate, lots of aluminum, you know, shocks are all aluminum, shock caps. Plastic feels good. It's soft yet firm. It doesn't feel like it'll snap or really warp out of place. And then you get the team associated support, which is unmatched. I mean, it's probably the best in business. You know, every time I've given them a call, I've gotten an answer right away. I've gotten a solution to my problem right away. So I would say, you know, for the money, you could be spending a lot more on a truggy, and this is a pretty darn good deal. Basically, if you're thinking about buying it, my advice is go for it. I mean, truggies are so fun to drive. They eat up jumps, ruts, pipe, whatever you hit, they just go straight over. So it's a lot of fun to drive. And obviously I'm biased, but RC cars are fun to drive in general. I don't care what it is. So I'm always going to recommend for whoever, you know, is asking, should I get this car? Pretty much the answer is yes, unless you're looking at a really bad car or something. But most kits nowadays, you know, these companies try to put as much value in the kit as possible. So you really can't go wrong with any kit out there. Alright guys, that's it for this review. So overall, I recommend the car. I think it's a lot of fun. Truggies are awesome to drive. And basically I have one more big race, one more trophy race for this 8-scale season. And then I'll be moving back indoors. So you can expect some B74 videos soon. Probably in about a month or so. And that's it for me. If you've enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.